When I think of Jerusalem, I personally think of King David. We are in the city of David, ancient Jerusalem. It's hard to believe, Zev, for me, that not too long ago, some people questioned whether King David even existed.
That's right.
So that's why number 8, I believe, is so important, the House of David inscription.
You know, Eric, as you were just saying, if you go back to the early 90s, if you said, hey, I'm going to go film an episode of The Watchmen in the city of David, there was a whole group of scholars known as the Copenhagen School. They would have said to you, the city of David? You mean the city of King David? You said, well, of course, who else? The King David from the Bible. Absolutely, there's nobody mentioned more in the Bible than King David. Well, you know they would have said, you might be a person of faith and you take this book literally, but you know that this is not a history book. There was no such person, historically speaking, as King David. And you might say, and the viewers at home, what are you talking about? Of course there's a King David, it says so in the Bible. But they would have said, well, again, you can't prove anything just because it says so in the Bible. Prove to us, outside of the Bible, that there was such a person named King David. David, son of Jesse. And you know what? Prior to 1993, you couldn't do it.
No real evidence for the existence of King David outside the Bible.
A lot of circumstantial evidence, but no smoking gun. Until 1993, an excavation in Israel's north, a place called Tel Dan. A large stone inscription is uncovered. It dates to about a century and a half after David would have lived. Written by a man named King Hazael of Aram, Aram being modern-day Syria. This King Hazael himself is mentioned in the Bible. And this King Hazael is in a good mood. Why? Because it goes on to say he just won a decisive military victory. Over who? Over a king from the house of David.
King David.
That's right. And if there's a house of David, that means there was a King David. So today, 99% of scholars, archaeologists, they all agree there was a King David. And the Bible tells us that where did David rule from? He ruled from Jerusalem. And where we're standing now, the city of David, if David was in Jerusalem, as the Bible says some 3,000 years ago, this is where he would have been ruling from. So today, there's no question. There was a King David. We know that from the perspective of faith, and we know that from the perspective of fact.
To combine faith in the Bible with technology and science and archaeological discoveries is an unbeatable combination in my view, Zev. This was a pivotal turning point discovery, wasn't it?
I had not too long ago a group of scholars who came here, and when you talk about Bible with scholars, they get a little bit funny. And so they're like, yeah, but isn't the debate today how influential King David was? Maybe he was just a small-time guy. He wasn't the big leader, the regional power that the Bible makes him out to be. And I said, you know what? You're right. That's the debate today. But I said to them, you know what's amazing? If you go back 20, 30 years, what was the debate? Whether King David existed at all. Today, that debate has moved on. Today, we're debating how influential was King David, and tomorrow, we'll be debating something else, because every day, the archaeology, the excavations taking place in places like where we're standing right now in the city of David, affirm a little bit more each and every day the biblical connection of the Jewish people to Jerusalem, the authenticity of the Bible.
Well, Zev, for someone who counts King David among his favorite biblical figures, this is exciting for me. And to stand where David once walked here in the city of David makes it even more special. Let's head to our next discovery.
Let's go.